When we set out a year ago to find our homestead, we had a couple specific things that we wanted.
We wanted space to grow our own food and really take control of our food situation.
We wanted a place that we could pursue our own endeavors and dreams.
And we really wanted a place of peace, a place that we could really relax and call our own, and a place where our boys could be boys and just run around outside.
So, welcome to our homestead. Goal when we left California and sold everything was to be completely debt-free. We didn't want to have that burden anymore.
We didn't want to be tied. We didn't want to be slaves anymore, just because we saw what road we were headed down.
Yeah, and it's a lot easier to pursue your dream when you don't have that burden on top of you. So finding a property that was in our price range was a little difficult.
Pretty hard.
It was pretty hard, and for what we wanted. We weren't super picky, but we did have specifics that we were looking for.
Yeah.
We were hoping for outbuildings of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
We were hoping that maybe there were some utilities on it, be it water, sewer, electric.
We also wanted history.
Yes, I really wanted a place that had history, if possible.
Yeah.
We were also okay with bare dirt.
Yep.
If that's what we found. And with our budget, we were kind of looking, that's probably what we were going to get. But we kept looking. So we found a place, finally, kind of stumbled upon it, that met everything we've ever wanted.
It was so weird. When we walked on this property, we had walked all the way around, and I looked at you and was like, you realize, like, this is everything that we had on our list of, hey, wouldn't it be nice if?
Yeah.
It's got the old building, it's got the space, it's got the barn, it's got
the utilities.
It's even got a spring on it. Like all these things that it was like, yeah, it'd be nice, but it's not a deal breaker. And when we realized we made that connection, whoa, this is really cool.
Yeah. And it was completely in our price range, which was absolutely amazing. So, as a lot of you know, we put in an offer and they accepted.
So, guys,
so here we go.
We're doing it.
We're doing it.
We found a place.
Yeah, and we're officially underway. And we had some struggles with a couple legal things. So we heard from our realtor Monday that, come to find out, there's more to the story about the property and it being involved in a bankruptcy. And it was kind of up in the air for a while. Is it gonna be ours? Is it not? What's gonna happen? And we finally got the call that it was gonna be ours, and we got to close.
Yep.
Y'all, we're getting our property! We had our closing. Today is the day we go sign the papers, all officialness. Okay, here we go.
It's time.
Oh my gosh, it's official. It's done.
We get to go home.
We get to go home. But it was 2 days before we had to leave for California to go get our stuff. A trip we had already planned.
We wanted to bring everything out here, that the few things that we had kept, like my equipment and 1 or 2 pieces of furniture that we kept.
Yeah.
We had planned on bringing it all out here regardless of if we'd found something. So we'd already had the trip planned. Guys, we literally spent an hour on the property after we signed
We did.
before we left.
And it was the most like exciting but heartbreaking thing all at the same time. But it was cool because it gave us an entire month to really even more build up that excitement of we have something waiting for us when we get back. It's there and it's ours. So excited!
We actually are almost home.
We're almost home. We're so close. Like it's so close I can feel it. Like I can see the mountains. They're over there that way. And we own it outright, debt-free. It is ours. So, I know we've kept you waiting long enough. You guys have been so patient, and we appreciate that because it's been hard for us to be patient. So I think it's time to actually really reveal our new property. We're gonna go in order of like smallest and kind of not least cool, but maybe least significant to what our big plans are.
Let's talk outbuildings.
Outbuilding. So one of the first outbuildings that we really went, hey, you know what, we could use that right away, was a shed. It's kind of a shed. It's kind of like...
And kind of gross.
It's kind of gross. I think at one point, maybe it was half of a mobile home that got pieced together.
This property, the more we've been over here, it's got a lot of stories.
Yeah, it does. So this shed, the inside is finished and it's got two lean-tos, I guess, on each side. So our thought was chicken coop.
Bam, chicken
Heck
coop.
yeah, tack room, chicken coop. We can throw chickens in there really fast. It's placed on a corner of the property that's kind of accessible to the house.
It's kind of up by the single wide.
Right. So it's kind of zone 1 anyways.
Yep.
So not too far away, and we just think it would be a great place to put a chicken coop.
Plus, right off the bat, we're going to do a static coop.
Yeah.
Until we get all of our fencing up and all that, a static coop will work perfect for us.
That's going to be the easiest. It's not beautiful, but you know, it's one of those things that we can use all these things now and make them prettier or redo them over time.
Yeah.
Now, the next building,
The one I'm excited about.
this one was super cool, and this wasn't something we were necessarily looking for.
No, we'd looked at a lot of bare land, and we were actually, there's a property that we thought about trying to get that was just bare land.
Yeah.
When we found this, it was like, what?
Total bonus.
There's a barn? Sweet.
We were so excited for the barn. So there is a barn. It's a 2-story barn. The bottom
It's like a converted loft area.
yeah, kind of. The bottom is cinder block and the top is wood.
Yeah. It's not the prettiest thing, but
And it's not one of the like ancient original tobacco barns, which that would be super
That would have been cool.
But it's a barn.
the top floor looks like whoever was here at some point had turned it into a wood shop. There's still sawdust everywhere. There's, you know, tools and stuff still up there. Not a whole lot. It's been cleaned out, but you can tell it was a wood shop. Lots of cut ends and stuff like that. So we're ecstatic.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. We still haven't even figured out what we're going to do with it completely, like the top portion, but we're just ecstatic for that.
And then the bottom is just cinder block, dirt floor. I think for now, just in the meantime, it's just going to be storage. Just take some of my equipment, stick it down there until I can either pour a slab, or we might decide to use the bottom of the barn as an actual barn and put animals down there.
Yeah.
It's just stuff that we'll cross, you know, later
When
on.
we get there, we got to get settled first, but we are thinking that that's probably going to become the workshop.
Yep.
And then the part that really spoke to my heart. I so wanted, and wasn't expecting, but so wanted deep in my heart, a piece of history. I said it would be so cool if we could find an old farmhouse just to have that history. Like, I'm just an old history nut. Like, I just love stories like that. And I never thought it would actually happen.
Right. It's one of those things, you can't hold on to something like that.
No.
Especially not when you're trying to pay cash, and you know, it's like you don't find old buildings
on land in a very tiny budget. So when we saw the listing, it was listed as the mobile home. We're like, okay, that's fine. And it said it had some outbuildings. And we get there, and there's this, I mean, I won't say beautiful, but it's beautiful. Farmhouse, old 90-year-old farmhouse. Not in great condition.
It's not really livable.
But it's rough. Also not completely falling down. It's fairly solid.
It's still watertight.
It is.
There's no leaks.
Been the big thing is none of the buildings leak, which is a really big plus. But it's 2 stories. It's got an attic. It looks like they've added on here and added on there and kind of put rooms where they needed to.
Well, tell them what we found out about this old farmhouse.
We found out that this is actually the original structure, homestead, of all of the land that has been pieced out over the years, one piece at a time, that has come down to our 6 acres. So we have the original homestead structure,
which is kind of cool.
That just tickles me so much. So our plan for the farmhouse right now is to really just leave it alone. We're gonna clean out all the junk, but it's such a big project that we don't want to tackle it right now, and there's some electrical, but we don't know how solid the electrical is, and at first we didn't think there was any plumbing.
Yes, we didn't think there was any plumbing, and then she moved some garbage.
And I found a sink.
The sink.
So there's at least a sink. We don't know about a bathroom. So it's one of those things that we want to do it. I would be completely stoked to redo a farmhouse, but that's going to be a later project down the line. But just knowing it's on the property and knowing that that is the original homestead, that just fed every little Little Women and Little House on the Prairie dream I've ever had.
So one of the things that we really saw when we first set foot on this property, it was the dead of winter. And this property is covered in garbage. It was used as a garbage dump the last few years that it was owned by somebody, or somebody lived out there, and it's bad. There's a lot of trash.
Bad.
Seeing the houses are trashed, the barn's trashed. I mean, and it's better than it was.
It is.
Because when we went to sign papers, it looks like people came in and got the rest of the stuff that they wanted out of it. And
so it's a little cleaned up.
It's a little cleaned up. Like, you can walk through the doors of the structures, but it's in rough condition. So
there's some tires, there's some piles of trash and stuff like this, but the bright side is there's actually quite a few building materials.
There's a lot of bricks and cinder blocks and pavers.
2x6s.
A lot of lumber lying around.
There is. So there's stuff that we can start, at least like some beds and some landscaping, and to make it pretty. And I'm sure the kids are going to claim a lot of that for the tree fort they've had planned all year long.
They've talked about this tree fort they're going to build, and it's like, I hope this property has trees.
Which we do, thankfully.
Yep.
So we talked about the farmhouse, but that's not where we're going to wind up living. It's not really in a condition where we can
move in. None of these structures are move-in ready.
Not completely, no.
So the property, the building we actually bought that is considered the home,
the structure,
was the single wide that's up at the top of the hill. And it is what it is. But the more we thought about it, it was like, we can redo this fairly cheaply. We can move into it. We can, while we live in that, we'll be getting everything else going on. And then we can do whatever other project we want. So right off the bat, we're gonna move the trailer out here and then start working on this single wide.
We talked about what we would want to do with it. Do we want to rip it down? It's not in awful condition, but it's not in great condition. It's ugly. It's a 1990s, so it's got some years on it. It's got wear and tear. So we talked about ripping it down and building another house, but it was like, you know what? When we walked in it, it's solid. The structure is solid. It's not leaking, like we said. Like, you know what? We can gut this. We can completely take out everything clean it up, fix it up, redo it, make it super cute,
Yep.
and that will be our little farmhouse while, like you said, we do all the other stuff. So it's gonna be a project, but we wanted a fixer-upper. We wanted a project. We like to work on things and take old, dirty, beat-up things,
Stuff that nobody wanted.
stuff that nobody wants, that we can turn to make really pretty and really homey and make it a place.
Make it our own.
Yes. So those are all of the structures that have come on our property. Now everybody wants to know, what are your plans aside from just the property itself? What are you gonna do? What's the plan here? Our big #1 goal first, besides gutting the
Right.
mobile home and
Place
getting
to
a place to live, is to put in a garden. We have a vision of putting in a big raised bed, potager, French country garden in the middle of all 3 structures.
Yep.
The land is kind of swaled in some places.
It's terraced.
Terraced a little bit, and each of the terraces are
10, 15 feet wide, and then a little berm. And being in there, being out here during heavy rain,
yeah.
the way the property has been graded, all the water runs kind of zigzags all the way down the hill. A lot of the water's captured in these swales, and for a garden, it's going to be really nice.
Yeah, it will. So our plan is to put a big garden in the middle of all of those. So when we finish the mobile home, we can look out and see it there. Or if we wind up moving into the farmhouse, then it's still up. We can see it out the window, and just a nice central location for everything. So big garden, of course, is our #1 thing, because our biggest goal is to grow our own food as much as possible. And it's just pretty. And everybody wants to know what kind of animals we're getting. So
We're probably, for sure, most definitely getting chickens like ASAP.
as soon as I can get to a feed store.
Like, anybody around here need to get rid of chickens, like, we can help out.
We can rehome chickens.
Charitable cause. Chickens are most definite gonna happen.
Yeah.
We've talked about goats.
We have talked about goats.
There's a lot of land management that has to be done.
Oh gosh, the kudzu is out of
The
control.
kudzu's out of control. The grass is up to here. I
Yeah.
mean, I had to fly the drone because you can't walk through it easy.
That's so true.
Pigs are a definite.
Yes,
Like,
you have really come to like pigs.
I love what pigs can do if you use them as a tool. And there's some spots on this land, it's like, it's clay. It's just
It is.
dead clay. Sure, weeds grow. We don't know how plants are going to grow.
Right.
We're going to have to build our own soil. So pigs are a great tool that I am looking forward
Very excited about. Plus bacon is tasty. Let's be real. But we did talk about the goats, but goats, cows, big animals like that are something that's going to be down the line. We need a lot more infrastructure. So biggest animal goals right now is chickens and pigs, maybe some ducks, because we do have some water
There is
on
some
our
water on the
property.
property.
We have a spring and kind of a marshy area that they would probably really enjoy, but that has to be cleared as well.
to. Brambles, man.
Brambles everywhere. And we do have berries.
Yes, there's berries.
So many
everywhere.
berries, and I was just like, I get to walk onto my property and I'm gonna have a harvest in like a month. This is the coolest thing ever. And then after after the animals, our next biggest goal is to just get everything set up to where we can get our businesses up and running again. Your metalworking business.
My metalworking, you know, I've got a machine shop that's in a pod waiting to be delivered.
Yep.
As soon as we get the barn wired up or, you know, whatever we end up doing, I can start, you know, doing the side hustle again.
Yeah.
I also make knives, and I have been itching to make knives. You know, just this whole year of not being able to make knives it's very painful.
It is. It's been a long time for him. He's like so ready to go. And then I have a handcrafted soap and skincare business. So we're just trying to get those set up, and those are our immediate goals for our property.
A quick way to make some income.
It is. Let's
go.
And we've missed it, so
we have.
We're excited to get back into it. So there you go. Our new home. We are so excited, and we just like crazy, stupid excited. And we're so thankful for you guys cheering us on, keeping us going when we were not feeling it, and we're so discouraged that we were never going to find a place, and we have it.
We have it.
And it's ours.
We can't thank you guys enough for coming along with us, like, and cheering us on. There are some days where it was bad. It was rough.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Fine. Let's just forget everything, go back to work and go into debt and all this, all the thoughts you have.
You know, the easy way out.
The easy way out. And the encouragement we got from you guys, like,
you kept us going.
We'll keep going.
Yep. So we are gonna build our homestead debt-free, and we're gonna do it. I'm excited.
It's gonna be slower.
It is. It's gonna be slower,
slower.
but that's okay. That's all good. So it's time to get to work.
Yep.